Working for Merivale was my first hospitality job. I didn't know what to expect, so when they told me at a group interview that Merivale staff got paid a flat rate that was higher than a ward to compensate for the lack of evening and penalty rates, I believed them. I assumed that a company as big as Merivale would pay their workers fairly, that the stakes would be too high not to, and that someone would hold them to account if they ever strayed. Unfortunately, I was wrong on all counts. The flat rate we were paid was actually below award, and there was no compensation for lack of penalty rates. And there was really no one keeping an eye on this. No one looking out for workers' rights and making sure they're treated fairly. So when I figured out that Merivale was paying below award and that its enterprise agreement was about a decade out of date, I spoke to the HR department to see what their explanation was. They told me that their profit margin is non-negotiable, and that if they had to pay workers more, they would lay people off and have fewer staff on shift to make back the difference. They also told me that it would be too disruptive to the business to negotiate a new agreement, and that if any staff had a problem, they could speak with HR individually. I found this response disgusting. A non-negotiable profit margin? They're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve a predetermined level of profit? And negotiating a fair deal for staff is too disruptive to the business? I would have thought that the Human Resources Department would recognise that the people working for the company are the most valuable resource they have, and that they would want to do whatever it took to treat them fairly. Luckily, I found that I wasn't the only Merivale staff member who was thinking this way. And after a lot of hard work and the help of the United Voice Union, we managed to have the out-of-date and unfair Merivale agreement terminated and replaced with the Hospitality Award. This showed me that the only way for workers to ensure that we get paid fairly for our labour is to stand up and demand it. To refuse to stand by while our long hours of hard work make rich people richer. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is easy. It takes effort and courage to stand up for ourselves, because the power is stacked against workers. If one of us speaks up, we could lose our job or our reputation. But if we speak up together, we can challenge these exploitative systems and make real change for ourselves and our colleagues. In my induction to Merivale, they told me that we are all a family and that we're working towards a common goal. In reality, there's only one family in Merivale, and that's the Hems family. It's the Hems family that profits when workers are underpaid, and it's the Hems family's goals that are achieved when workers feel isolated and powerless. But it's time for that to change. If Merivale wants people to work for them to build their empire, they're going to have to pay for it. Because labour doesn't come free, and it shouldn't come cheap. They've got a bill to pay, and we need to stand together to make sure they pay it.